Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
You turn off the lamp. You pull the blanket up to your chin, and the second your eyes close, someone flips a switch inside your head, and suddenly you're not in bed anymore. You're standing in that kitchen again, finally saying the thing you didn't say to your sister. Or you're walking into the interview room, and this time your voice doesn't shake. Or you're replaying a fight that hasn't even happened yet, rehearsing it, rewriting it, giving yourself the ending you never got. Somewhere between good night and asleep, you quietly became the director, the screenwriter, and the star of a film that only you will ever watch. Most people call this overthinking. Some call it insomnia. But what if I told you this nightly movie isn't a malfunction at all? What if your brain isn't broken? It's working. Running a private, urgent mission, one with a purpose far more precise than you think too much. So what exactly is directing this film every night behind your closed eyes? And why can't you just turn it off? I'm here to walk you through the psychology of the people who script their own lives at midnight. Stay with me until the end, because step 3 is the one that actually breaks the loop. Here's the thing nobody tells you. This isn't about willpower. It's about a quiet handoff happening inside your nervous system the instant the lights go out. Think about your day. A client sends a message dripping with disrespect, and you answer it politely anyway. Your mother makes a comment that lands like a slap, and you smile and change the subject. All day long, you are managing, filtering, performing calm. The part of your brain responsible for that performance is the prefrontal cortex, your inner CEO, the seat of logic, restraint, and social control. And by nightfall, that CEO has been in back-to-back meetings for 16 hours straight. The moment you lie down, something scientists call the hypnagogic state begins, that hazy in-between zone where you're not quite awake and not quite asleep. Your exhausted prefrontal cortex clocks out first. It's done. But your limbic system, the emotional, memory-holding part of your brain, is just getting started. It's been waiting all day for a turn. With no phone buzzing, no meeting to run to, no one asking anything of you, your brain finally turns its attention inward. And it starts digging up everything you didn't have time to feel earlier. The sting, the disappointment, the anger you weren't allowed to show. But here's the twist. Because your logical brain has already gone offline. It can't process these emotions the way it would at 2 p.m. It doesn't hand you a calm little sentence like, "I felt disrespected today." Instead, it hands you a scene. A full production with dialogue, lighting, and a plot twist where you finally win. That's why you don't just think, "I was hurt." You picture yourself standing taller, saying the perfect line, watching the other person's face fall. This is never random. It is never meaningless. You are always the main character, and the story always exists to fix something real life left broken. So if these movies aren't random, what is your brain actually trying to accomplish? It comes down to 3 deep psychological needs. Finishing the unfinished. You may not remember what you had for lunch 3 days ago, but you can replay. Word for word, something a friend said to you 2 years ago that cut you to the bone. That memory doesn't stay sharp because it was important. It stays sharp because it never got closure. Maybe your coworker walked out of the meeting before you could respond. Maybe your ex hung up before you finished your sentence. Maybe it was hours later, lying in the dark, that the perfect comeback finally arrived. 3 years too late. Psychologists call this craving for resolution the Zeigarnik effect. Your mind holds on to unfinished business far more tightly than anything that's already been resolved. When real life refuses to hand you an apology, an explanation, or a final word, your brain simply builds its own ending. It rewinds the tape, hands you the microphone, and lets you say the thing you were never allowed to say. Replaying it isn't bitterness. It's your mind quietly sweeping up glass that someone else shattered and left on your floor, chasing the win you were denied. You imagine walking into a room and every head turns. You picture the group chat finally admitting you were right all along. You imagine the person who overlooked you for that promotion watching you succeed anyway, from a distance, wishing they hadn't. Why is this fantasy so addictive? One word, dopamine. Most people assume dopamine only shows up when the reward actually happens. But neuroscience tells us something more surprising. Simply anticipating a win releases a real, measurable hit of dopamine. Your nervous system doesn't fully distinguish between imagining the applause and actually hearing it. And in this private theater, you hold every card. You write the dialogue. You control every reaction. If a scene doesn't land the way you want it, you simply rewind and shoot it again. There is no risk of rejection here, no chance of humiliation, no unpredictable variable, because you're the only one writing the script. In your imagination, you never lose. Rehearsing the person you're becoming. Maybe tomorrow you have to tell your landlord the apartment isn't safe. Maybe you're finally setting a boundary with a parent who's never respected one. Maybe it's a job interview or a conversation with a partner you've been avoiding for weeks. So your mind runs the scene. You try opening one way. You predict how they'll respond. You adjust your tone, rewrite your opening line, run it again. Cognitive scientists call this mental simulation. Your brain building a private rehearsal room so that when the real moment arrives, you're not starting from zero. But underneath the rehearsal, something bigger is happening. You are trying on a version of yourself who stays calm under pressure, who sets the boundary without apologizing for it, who says the hard thing out loud instead of swallowing it. That version isn't a fantasy. It's a preview. It's you, getting familiar with a strength you haven't quite dared to use yet in daylight. By now, you understand why your mind reaches for these scenes. But that still doesn't explain why you can't just stop. Why, even when your body is running on fumes, the film keeps rolling the second your head hits the pillow. The answer is that your brain has quietly built a habit. And habits are built in 3 stages. Your bed becomes the trigger. At first, this was harmless. Maybe you used a little daydream to relax before sleep, on purpose, once in a while. But when the same thing happens night after night, your brain starts forming what habit researchers call a cue. Darkness, stillness, the particular weight of your own head on the pillow. Your brain learns this is the signal to start working. Eventually, you don't even choose it. You're not deciding to imagine anything. The silence itself has become the action cue, and the projector switches on without your permission. The story pays out immediately. Every habit survives because it's rewarded. And the reward here isn't winning the imaginary argument. It's something far more practical, instant relief from the discomfort of lying alone with your thoughts. The moment loneliness, boredom, or anxiety creeps in, the scenario gives your mind something to hold on to. Picture the moment you finally craft the perfect response to that one relative who never lets things go. There's a rush, a sense of purpose, a small private victory. That flicker of satisfaction is the reward, and it's fast. So your brain quietly files away a new rule. Whenever you feel empty at night, turn the movie on. The loop feeds itself. Here's where it turns against you. These scenes may fill the emptiness, but they steal something in return. Your rest. Whether you're imagining triumph or replaying a fight, your body doesn't know the difference. It responds as if it's real. Your heart rate climbs slightly. Your muscles stay tense. This is called pre-sleep cognitive arousal, and it means you stay awake longer than you should. And the longer you stay awake, the more your mind fills that extra time with more story. More story means more arousal. More arousal means more wakefulness. After enough nights like this, your bed quietly stops being a place of rest and starts being the place your brain associates with turning on. That's why just relax feels almost insulting when someone says it to you. You're not fighting a passing thought. You're up against a loop your own brain has been rehearsing for years. Here is the 4-step method to interrupt it. Tonight, if you want to try it, name it instead of fighting it. The instinct is to snap at yourself. Stop thinking about this, but resistance feeds the loop more energy. Instead, quietly say to yourself, I'm doing the thing again. That's it. Naming it wakes the logical brain back up, even slightly, like a small splash of cold water on a fire that's spreading. Give your mind a clear, physical stop signal. Silently, firmly, say, stop. Pair it with an image, a red stop sign, or your hand pressing down on a power button, watching the screen behind your eyes go black. This isn't magic. It's a wall placed directly in the path of a thought that's gaining speed. Immediately fill the silence. This is the step most people skip, and it's the one that actually works. The moment you shut the movie off, an empty space opens up. And if you leave it empty, the old scene will rush right back in. Your brain's attention is limited, so you have to occupy it with something neutral. Count your breaths from 1 to 10. Picture the sound of ocean waves. Silently recite the lyrics to a song you love. The rule is simple. Never leave the gap open. Repeat without self-judgment. The first few nights, the old scene will absolutely push its way back in. Your brain has been running this script for years, sometimes decades. That's not failure. That's expected. Every time it happens, go back to step 1. Name it. Stop it. Fill it. Again and again, like a rep at the gym, until your mind runs out of resistance and finally lets go into sleep. One more tool that helps enormously. Give your brain a scheduled outlet during the day. Set aside 15 minutes. Write down every worry, every unfinished conversation, every what if on paper. A mind that's already been heard in daylight has far less to say at midnight. Here's what I want you to sit with tonight. This technique was never designed to erase your memories or silence your feelings. It was designed to end the loop that's quietly draining you dry. Give it 2 to 3 weeks of practice, and it starts becoming reflex. Before you close your eyes tonight, try saying this to your own mind. Nighttime is for resting, not for negotiating. Not for defending myself against people who aren't even in the room. No matter how unfinished the story feels, you are allowed to press pause on it. And if you've made it this far, if you've ever lain awake directing a scene no one else will ever see, please hear this. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you carry a rich, sensitive, deeply feeling inner world and a mind that has been working overtime trying to protect you. It simply went a little too far past its shift. So tonight, when the old scene tries to start rolling again, name it, stop it, and gently hand your mind something else to hold. You are not failing at rest. You are learning how to reclaim it. I want to know, what's the movie your mind keeps playing? Is it an old argument that never got its ending? A moment of triumph you're still chasing? Or a fear about tomorrow you haven't said out loud yet? Type it in the comments below. Even just one word. Naming it out loud, in front of people who understand, is often the very first crack in the loop. If this video put language to something you've felt for years, hit like and send it to the one person you know who's also lying awake tonight, running their own private film. You never know. Your share might be the exact thing that finally lets someone else sleep. I am reclaiming my peace. Thank you for staying with me. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one as we keep uncovering the quiet corners of the mind together.